Now, it's pace of play.
Come on, Glenn! Come on! Get your head in the damn game!
Putting the boys on the clock.
I guess we're playing for keeps now.
The fuck?
All right, hey, Jason Day, this is an interesting story.
Jason Dye. Jason Dye.
Working from last week. Obviously, he had a great week making it all the way to the semifinals, but he was the last to withdraw from the Honda Classic this week, leaving only one player out of the final 8 to actually playing in the Honda this week. Is last week too long? Does it drag out? Is there a reason we play this 3rd and 4th place match? Should we do something different? What are your thoughts on that particular?
I was sorry to see Jason Day withdraw. He's one of the guys I like. It wasn't a toothache, by the way. I think
Correct,
it was a jock itch or something like that got out of control. I don't think it's too long. I love match play. It's not long enough for me. I think there is a reason for the 3rd and 4th match. I don't think it's a long week for these guys. They train for this, so to speak. This is what they do, and I'm absolutely good with it. I wish there was more of it, Lee.
I agree with you. I think I don't want to overdo it. Like I think we've kind of overdone it in the team events. I don't want to overdo match play because I do want to keep it special. But I like the way it's set up. Obviously, this year was a little bit different. I think it wouldn't be as long if we could actually get one where there was good weather.
Yeah, where there was weather. It was a long
degrees.
week. When you don't get to play for 2 damn days, it becomes a long week.
Yeah, I think if we get to where the weather's a little bit better, it wouldn't seem near as long. But I like the 3rd place match. I mean, look at from the fans' perspective. If there's only 2 players on the golf course on that last day or the last 18 holes. It's not going to be good for the fans.
I agree with you. I agree. And speaking of things insignificant, the LPGA Tour has not come out with an opinion one way or the other as far as the anchoring ban. There are a number of lady golfers on tour that use it. Their names escape me right now. But should anybody really care? Is this really an important moment in history, whether the LPGA Tour is, people holding their breath to come out to see which way they're going to go on this decision? Does it really matter? Is it really going to have an effect?
Mark, you can go ahead and give us the buzzer on this one. Absolutely not. And I'm definitely far from a chauvinist when it comes to this, but I think the LPGA should probably just follow what the PGA Tour does,
absolutely,
and be done with it.
And I'm sure they will.
No,
I'm sure they will.
I agree.
Yep.
So Augusta National, this is an opportunity here for our tournament to continue to gain some relevance with the FedEx Cup points, increase purse, starting the season. And now there's the conflict, controversy, or the decision now that Augusta National is entertaining the opportunity to extend the winner of these former Fall Series events that are now going to start the trunk or start the wraparound season at the end of this year and make the champions of those tournaments and invite them to Augusta National. You think this is a good decision by Augusta? And they're entertaining it now. Should they do it? Should they not?
I think they should do it. I'll tell you why. Because these guys, obviously, every week they tee it up. They want to win the tournament, number one. But more importantly, 98% of the tournaments that they're playing in, if you win, you're going to get a trip to Augusta. There's no reason why these other tournament winners should not be invited. It's a full-fledged, full-blown PGA Tour event. Money counts. The points count. I think they should get a trip to Augusta.
Totally agree. I mean, it wouldn't be that many more invites.
No, it wouldn't.
Augusta always has the smallest field.
Exactly. They're always shorted on players anyway.
Yeah, they're under 100 players. Obviously, in 2014, they're taking the invite back from the Publix that was the winner of the U.S. Publix that was announced a couple of weeks ago.
And it's not as if these tournaments are easy tournaments. They're not. They're playing against other great players. Well, if they're good enough to win these damn tournaments, they could play at Augusta.
And whether Augusta cares or not, their invite obviously would add some cachet to a tournament at Cordoval.
Exactly, to get some people.
A tournament at TPC Summerlin.
That's a good point.
Those types of things, and really add, and for a guy that's obviously playing this week, Jeff Ogilvy, come and play at TPC Summerlin. I mean, if you can't get into to Augusta this year, please come and make it. I'll give you the best locker.
Yeah, and Jeff, Lee would even give you a discount on merchandise. I'm sure.
I'll give you the best locker.
Yeah. Speaking of Augusta, as you know, the winner of the Green Jacket gets to select the entire menu for the Champions Dinner. I kind of think this should be changed. Sure, let them do the appetizers, let them do the dessert, but I think the club itself should do the main portion of the meal, have different entrees available for guys. What if they're vegetarians? What if they're on a strict diet for one thing or another? This year, as you know, Bubba Watson is going to select the dinner. I mean, are you going to be down with, maybe caterpillars and bugs for, an appetizer? I think they ought to change that. I do.
I like this tradition. I like the fact and really hearing the stories of all the champions gathering around and the particular champion like VJ, from Fiji, and him doing some some home style food and all those types of things. I like this tradition. I think it should stay. My question is does Augusta staff prepare this? I mean, the executive chef at Augusta, do they get the menu? Do they prepare
They
it?
prepare
Or
it. No.
if it was me, which obviously it'll never be, I would be a guy that would just say, look, this is the direction I want to go. I'd bring in Bobby Flay and say, you take over.
You know what? That's a good idea.
Bring in Mario Batali,
That's a great idea.
Who's a big golfer, and say, look, you take
or
over.
Or Emerald, he's a big golfer. That's a great idea.
Bring it in. So I don't know if that happens or if it's just Augusta staff that does it.
It's a staff. But that is a great idea. I agree with you totally.
No, I think it'd be
then
really
it would
cool.
be edible, for crying out loud.
All right, last question. We got Final Four last week was a great great set of winners there that played well, put on a good show. Obviously on Sunday, actually I saw a stat that now this is the 11th consecutive PGA Tour event won by an American.
Yeah,
which is the longest streak for in the last couple of years. So
we're on a roll.
Great for American golf, and maybe bodes well for the President's Cup coming later. But who will be the first of that Final Four to win a major? Matt Kuchar, Jason Day, or Jason Dye?
Jason Dye. It's
Hunter Mahan or Ian Poulter. Who's be the first one to win a major?
To me, Lee, it's a toss-up between Kuchar, who's playing great golf, and Poulter. And if I was a betting man, which I am, I got to go with Poulter. Just has that drive. Just wants it more, I think, than the other guys, and has the game to do it.
I will never choose Poulter, and it's not that I dislike him as a person.
I know what you're going to say, because you and I were both wrong. We never thought the last guy standing last week, we both were wrong, was going to be Matt Kuchar. So you go.
But if you remember, you said Mahan was going out immediately.
I did, and I was wrong on that. I was wrong on that.
I'm just not a big Poulter fan. He makes great belts. His company makes great belts, so
got
I do
great
like
hair
him for that. But
I love his hair.
He rubs me the wrong way always in the Ryder Cup. I like when Americans do what he does, but I don't like when he does what he does. So it's really an unfair dislike towards. So
you're going for Matt Kuchar?
No, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say it's Jason Day.
Oh, okay.
I think
boy.
if you remember correctly, when he was not injured, he finished. I think he had 2 consecutive runner-up finishes. At the Masters and the U.S. Open. I think he's got the all-around game.
He's a wonderful player
when he gets the putter going. And now that he's not injured, I think Jason Day could be the first out of this group to win a major.
We're going to see it. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Pace of Play.